Content warning, y'all. We have lots of fun making this podcast, but remember, we watch a lot of R-rated films, use language that reflects that, and joke about heavy topics to create levity around these themes. If that doesn't feel safe or could be triggering, please take care of yourself. We want you to have fun listening too. This also means we might not be suitable for children. Oh yeah, and we spoil the end of all the movies we pod about. Thanks for listening. It's bizarre.
Okay, I'd like to read
Uh-oh. Whoa.
a list of the top 10 highest grossing films of 1986.
Oh, God.
Number 1, Top Gun. Number 2, Crocodile Dundee.
Oh, all right.
3, Platoon,
Okay.
which also won the Oscar that year.
Mm-hmm.
Karate Kid Part 2.
Wow.
Star Trek 4.
Oh, hell yeah.
Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield.
Oof.
Aliens.
Oh, shit.
The Golden Child. Eddie Murphy.
It's just my burner phone.
Ruthless People. Which I think might also have Bette Midler.
Yes, it does.
And Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Whoa.
So 1986.
That was some, you can just, yeah, thank you.
That was a year.
Yeah. Seems like.
So also this movie came out
Yeah, woof.
that year.
Woo. Wow.
Apparently it was a financial success too.
That's, I mean, not
Ironic.
I guess not that surprising, but yeah, yikes.
Anyway, hi and welcome.
Hi, we're doing a thing.
We haven't recorded in
I know.
a dog's age, it feels like.
Before we get too involved, I just want to start by saying, if you like listening to us, you can
Call 911.
if you're into the show and you're like, oh, I want to support them in their venture, you can subscribe to our
That'd be great.
Patreon.
We'd love it.
We get all giddy when that happens. I think our tiers are like $1, $3, $5, and you get special exclusive content. You can just go to patreon.com/ZNKpod. And also, please follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/ZNKpod, because I go through a lot of trouble to make trailers and fun content.
They're so fun. And not only, as I've said many times already, one of my favorite things about doing the pod with you,
Aw.
they are, I feel like, very representative.
Oh, yeah.
Representative of our
Yeah.
general aesthetic and humor.
Yeah. Humor. Yeah. Basically, if you want to get an idea, this is horrifying, I guess, to admit.
Yeah.
But if you want to know what it's like to, like, what our everyday life is like, just go to our Instagram, our ZNK Pod Instagram, and that's pretty much what it's like having a conversation with us. Like, that's how we talk to each other. Like, all of the things that, anything that you're like, I don't get it, that's what hanging out with us would be like in person.
Get ready to feel alienated.
We made an entire podcast just to alienate people.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're welcome.
Just talking about the most popular medium of our society, but in a way that is exclusive as possible.
Yeah, and like, I like how we're like, let's make a podcast about movies, and then I'm like, make it old movies that hopefully no one gives that much of a shit about. Like the film that we watched
For instance,
last night, down and out in Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills.
From 1986. Why did you suggested this one? Why did you pick this film?
Yeah. Well, specifically, I picked it because
Thanksgiving.
Yes, the film's timeline starts around Thanksgiving.
Yes.
I was looking up.
Right, Thanksgiving movies, yeah.
Right, movies that are set during Thanksgiving, and this will be our Thanksgiving episode.
Yes.
So
happy
that. It was already something that I thought would be a good candidate for us.
Yeah.
Because of what I remember of it. I'm not entirely sure if I've ever seen it in its entirety
all the way
before.
Through, yeah.
There are definitely scenes that I remembered, but they're trailer fodder. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure.
Right. I
definitely remember the sex scenes.
Oh, God. Those are memorable.
Such as they are.
Those are unfortunately memorable.
But not much else.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I might have, who knows, I might have caught it on TV. And because it's clearly, I remembered enough, and the title gives you this, that I knew it was like a class-related.
Oh, I see.
Which,
it's confusing.
Is one of my
favorite
things.
Yes.
So, those are my criteria for why I want to know on shit. Also, I just fucking love Richard Dreyfuss, as you know.
Why? I wrote down, why does he play every emotion as angry?
Because he's a great actor.
It's so
That's
confusing.
the hallmark, as you know.
He just, I did not... There were so many things that I did not understand about this movie.
My first note... light just went up.
I know.
My first note was, immediately he's an asshole. The
Right.
first thing he says is something shitty.
Right. They're so fucking mean to their son. Yeah. And, he's supposed to be a fucking weirdo.
Cue the collage he makes.
Yeah.
Sherry says anger will get you nowhere. Here are some samples of your anger.
Get out of here, Max.
Get out of here, Max!
It's hangers that clothe you. It's hangers that feed you.
You're giving me a headache, Max!
Get out of here, Max! Max!
Get away! Get away! Get away! I'm on the phone! I'm on the phone!
P.S. I love you.
So, he just keeps making videos for them, which is, in my mind, I'm this is so fucking sweet that he doesn't know how to talk to his parents, so he just keeps making video collages and giving it to them, and that's it. And they're just ugh, he's so annoying. And I'm oh my God, he's literally making artwork specifically for you. And he's but he'll be I don't know how to communicate very well, so here's how I'm doing it. Hello, can you say someone's on the spectrum? also
that gender queerness, yeah.
So yeah.
That's our favorite character, obviously.
What? Who?
The son.
Yeah. Seriously. And honestly, his character is probably the most innocent and realistic. And then but also his interactions with Nolte are probably the most endearing as well. Mm-hmm. Everyone else you're ugh, whatever. But his and so that was an interesting aspect of it. I couldn't tell at first. I mean, obviously once the lipstick scene came on, I was okay, definitely. But I was is he queer code? Are you supposed to be fine with him being mocked because he's queer? Mm-hmm. Are they queer coding him so you're fine with everyone being a fucking dick to him the whole entire film? Literally, they're just yelling at him, telling him to shut up. When he makes the video collage and gives it to his parents, and it's literally a collage of them being get out of my face, shut up, get away from me. Mm-hmm. And they're just ugh, he's trying to tell us something.
Why doesn't he put the good parts in?
Yeah, and I'm oh my God. Anyway, I got off on a tangent.
So, very briefly, because it's in its plot structure is very simplistic in that.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, here's a rich family living in Beverly Hills, and a bum tries to kill himself in their pool.
Right.
The end. I mean, like, hijinks ensue from there on.
I think it was an interesting. I mean, like, there's interesting aspects of it. It's one of those things where like once I read the trivia, where it's like Nick Nolte pretended to be homeless for weeks. For I was like, correct, yes. It's that like. There is like a specific like white person like obsession with and glamorization of homelessness that's like they're so free, you know, they can do whatever they want.
Right.
And like no they can't. Like
right.
Like it's so like it's completely like it's like the same thing as like when people are like, we don't say homeless, we say houseless because, and I'm like, no, literally no person that is homeless or houseless gives a fuck about that. Like I've never, like you're arguing about how to talk about an entire population of people.
Right.
Like you're arguing semantics. You're saying like, oh, we should use a different word that means literally the exact same thing. And it's like, just because you think a home is like being like homeless versus houseless, it's like for some people, home and house are the same thing. Like, you know what I mean?
Right, but just because they're unhoused doesn't mean they don't have a home.
Right, but here's my people would be like, I'm homeless. That means I have a house, just not a home. And I'm not here for that argument. Like
no?
that. No, absolutely not. So that's where I'm like, no, we're not doing this thing of like, oh, they have a home, they're just houseless. I'm like, no, because then the reverse can be applied, and we're absolutely not doing that shit. You. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Sharp.
Thank you.
Sharp as a wit.
Wit is attack.
I would like to come back to that phenomenon.
Yes.
When we talk about the ending.
Okay. I do want to say though, like after he tries to drown himself in the pool, then like Richard Dreyfuss like kind of becomes obsessed with him. And then like he basically gets passed around the whole family. Right. Like everyone in the family then develops like they either don't like him at first or they're indifferent to him at first, and then as he like lives with them, he gets to know them better and basically, you know, like they become like individually obsessed with him, and he ends up like sleeping with all of them, including the maid.
This reminded me of more than anything, or what I was reminded of, or kept thinking of, is Baps.
Oh my God, that was a movie.
R.I.P. That actress.
Oh God, I know. I forgot about that. Also, speaking of R.I.P., the maid in this is played by Elizabeth Peña.
Oh, R.I.P.
I know. Ugh, I get so sad. She was so good. She was so amazing, and I remember like when she died, I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Very young. Very
She was what, in her 50s? Yeah. I think.
Yeah, she was like in her. I don't think she was even. She was either 50 or just like not far past 50. It was not.
Yeah, we saw her in that episode of Major Crimes and that.
Yeah, or was it the closer? It was like the year before she died or the year she died or something. Heartbreaking.
Yeah, I'd be interested to watch more things with her. Also, there was just such an obsession with Beverly Hills in the 80s.
Oh, movies. Yeah.
I do want, I especially now, because I think it's probably better. There's a film called Scenes from the Class Struggle in Beverly Hills, which I think is probably a lot smarter than this movie. But very similar in that, you know, it's like the discreet charm of the bourgeoisie kind of thing. but like True Beverly Hills Cop.
Mm-hmm.
So many Beverly Hills things.
Yeah.
The Beverly Hillbillies. Remake happened in the 90s.
It did, yeah. God. Wow, yeah.
But, I didn't bother researching, but I think one of the things that's supposed to be going on with this movie is that they're like nouveau riche, like these people didn't inherit money.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And so it's this thing that means they're like have money but not much class.
Yeah.
Which what's it? There's some fucking Woody Allen movie that does the same thing.
Barf.
Yeah. Sorry. Which, who's that for?
Right.
Is it like I get to laugh at them as a poor person and as someone who's has dynastic wealth,
Right. Yeah.
What? Anyway, so
Do
you want to do plot points or
plot points?
we should say who's in it.
Oh yeah. Richard D-Bag Dreyfuss,
Check.
Bette Midler, Nick
No-lte Motel.
Nolte. I was trying to think, the part of the movie where he says like he was making draft cards or whatever. Apparently Nick Nolte actually got in trouble for doing that.
Yep.
Anyway,
Saw that.
Elizabeth Peña, Tracy Nelson,
Yep.
who was in Father Dowling.
Sister Steve.
We both we saw her and we were like, who is she? She was in something very important. And I was just like, what in the world? Because Keith and I usually don't have that nostalgic memory of someone for the same reason. But this time we did. I was like, oh, she was in Father Dowling. And he was like, that's it. And I was like, oh shit, we both remember from the same thing, which never happens.
Yeah, I wasn't convinced that I knew who she was when she came down the stairs. I said this. To me, she looked like she reminded me of a very young Carrie Fisher.
That's really funny because that's not.
That's fine. Evan Richards played the son.
Okay, thank you.
Mike the dog as Matisse.
That's right. Oh my God.
Also, Little Richard.
Yeah, good God. That was rough. I mean, he's great in it. He's fine. He doesn't do it. He's, wonderful. But there's a scene where the cops come. Because the dog keeps hitting the alarm.
On purpose, because...
Yeah, because he wants attention or whatever. Or he's pissed off or something. I don't know. He just keeps doing it. So the dog hits the alarm. And literally, it's cop cars, helicopters, this whole...
Dogs.
Yeah, police dogs. They all come out within 5 minutes. And little Richard lives across the street, and he crosses the street, and he's not playing himself. He's a different character, but he's
barely.
He's someone broke in to my house last week or last month or something, and he's and I called the cops, and it took 20 minutes for them to get there, and they showed up with one car, and he was like, where, I don't get this, he's like, I don't get this. He's like, it's because I'm black. And then the dog, chases him, and they're all just that guy,
Mm-hmm.
And he's, literally saying, a very important thing. He's literally, and it's not, they're all just standing around, awkward.
Record producer, you understand? I live right across the street from this place. But I don't get this kind of service, no, sir. 2 weeks ago, a thief tried to break in my house. Call the police. Good God Almighty. It took 20 minutes for the policeman to arrive. One little car, no dog, no chopper. And I know why I don't get the protection I am supposed to get. Because I'm black. Black, I'm a black man. Ain't no black man supposed to live in Beverly Hills. Let one black man stop to tie his shoes or scratch his behind on Rodale Drive. The SWAT team would parachute all down over my brother. I spent $3.6 million for that pile of stucco you see over there. I want the same protection that you give old David Whiteman over there. And I'm bringing in more brothers. Woo, woo! I'm gonna sue you, White. This dog is a tough dog. And he's gonna kill me.
And he's delivering this. I mean, I think Little Richard delivers it very well. I think it was like a really good scene, and I was like, oh shit, is this actually going to say something? And then it's like,
Well, it says
the dog
something.
right. And then it's like, oh, the dog chased him off.
Uh-huh.
And then that's it. And then he just keeps doing like one-liners after that and being like
There goes the neighborhood.
they're like, because an Iranian family moves in, he's like, there goes the neighborhood. And I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, it's so, that was probably, I was like, ooh, yikes.
The race politics in this movie
Ooh, yeah.
are something.
Oh man, this movie was a special kind of racist because it tried to make everything a joke, but like in a really fucked up way. It tried to make fun of all other cultures. Like, it was like, it did not in any way paint them in a serious way, and it just like mocked
but
them all.
you know, the family, the white nouveau riche family, is mocked the hardest. So
Are they?
it's
The thing that I found like kind of the most interesting, like I felt like Bette Midler's character, like they do this special thing of like there were so many layers to it. It was really what was that smile?
I don't know.
There were so many layers to it. It was like it's definitely a representation of white feminism where she's like trying to borrow like happiness from other cultures. She's trying to like,
Oh yeah,
you know,
100%, yeah.
take other cultures and like, but at the same time she's learning from people from those cultures. Like she's not like she's not reading a book and completely appropriating. She's actually being taught these things from the culture of the people who are teaching her, like, or the culture of the people who are.
I mean,
I know. I'm just saying, like, this is how it's implied.
yeah, okay,
That's what I mean.
gotcha.
And
I'll
that's
allow
the
it.
joke. That's the joke. Is that she's, and I'm like, no, that's fine. Actually, it's fine if she's talking to these people. It's fine
Right.
if they're there and she's paying them money to learn from them. That's fine. Like, if it's making her feel good, if it's making her, then that's not the joke. Like her doing this on her own, or like her trying to appropriate that is one thing, but like talking to someone with a different spiritual belief that is tied to their culture, there's nothing wrong with that. And that's not appropriative. That's literally being like, talk to me about your culture. Like, I want to learn about it. I want to know what you do. I want to know how you, like, that to me is like just spiritual intelligence. Like, you know, it's
Well,
not
it is
taking
implied
something-
that she like kind of burns through these.
Right.
people.
Correct. But the way that that's done is that they're charlatans. It's still not her. It's that she's so dumb, she doesn't know that they're taking advantage of her.
She can't tell the difference.
Right. And it's just like, that still is more mocking the culture and the person teaching her than it is mocking her. It's just saying she doesn't know any better.
Right.
These people are the ones that are the bad guys. And it's still, and I'm like, there's so many layers to this where it's like, it's making fun of her for doing this, but the reasons why she's doing it aren't bad. Like, she's doing it literally to like try to find happiness, which is like, it's its own thing, but
Sure.
like, that's not a bad thing. Like, she's not doing it to be cool. She's not doing it because her friends are doing it. She's literally trying to like feel better, and she's trying to, and yes, sure, like you said, like burning through them is like not necessarily a positive thing. But the implication isn't that she's burning through them because she's not finding happiness. It's that she's burning through them because they're all taking advantage of her.
Right.
And it's just like, oh my God. I was like, Jesus, how many like it's like equally calling her fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no part where she's not just like painted as being a complete idiot.
Right.
And in how she interacts with the people that are like, you know, like her gurus or whatever, and also how she like is like, oh, never mind, all I really needed was to have an orgasm. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, oh my God, like it's so fucking, you know, it's like, oh, she was just an uptight bitch that needed to have sex,
Right.
and that's all.
Get some.
Right. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is basically Nick Nolte heals the family with his penis. Which, you know.
Also, I farted.
I know it can be a healing process.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know.
There's no penis like good penis, you know.
The only good penis is a dead penis.
Shut the fuck up.
It is made explicit that he has sex with Bette Midler, Carmen,
the maid,
Elizabeth Peña, housekeeper, and
the 19-year-old daughter.
The daughter, yes. Who, by the way, is going to Sarah Lawrence, which means she's gay. Or will be shortly.
I did not catch that. Oh my
God. But he definitely had sex with the son also. And I assume is this fucking Matisse the dog throughout. Like everybody else is like 1 or 2 times, you know.
It's like, yeah, like, I mean, the thing of it is like,
and I think the tension between he and Richard Dreyfuss' character is because they don't fuck.
Right. Yeah.
They bond over baseball, which for straight white men, you know,
right, might as well be fucking.
Yeah,
honestly.
It's as intimate.
I like the IMDb trivia. One of it was like, hold on, I'm gonna try to find it.
Yes.
It's like, like what the?
Also, did you see? I'm sure you saw this. Apparently, it's based on a French film from the 30s.
Mm-hmm. I saw that in the credits.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, well, I did.
There's also several references to like Steven Spielberg.
Oh, interesting.
Like, presumably, you know, when he's driving and he gets in the accident, and I'm like, oh, look, that marquee says Cantinflas. Apparently, one of the marquees
it says Jaws.
has Jaws. I don't know. I didn't see it.
Me neither.
When the cops come and the son runs outside with the video camera, he's like, Close Encounters is the fourth kind.
Mm-hmm.
And then at some point, they're talking shit on Max, and Bette Midler says, like, isn't that how Spielberg got started?
God. Oh, I'm trying to find it.
The director, Paul Mazursky, did other great 80s films such as Moscow on the Hudson.
Oh, gosh.
Which I have a personal story about, and Moon Over Parador, which is one of those, like, I think, oh, you look just like the dictator of this Latin American country.
Oh, God.
Again, another Woody Allen movie does that, I think.
Okay, two things. I don't like. Well, there's several. Okay, so there's one trivia that says it's the film debut of Alexis Arquette,
right?
And she's like not credited at all in this film, like not even as uncredited. But there is like a supposed to be androgynous person by the name of Alexis in the film, which I don't, because I do remember being like, oh, that'd be weird if that was Alexis Arquette. And I remember like looking at their face and being like, that doesn't really look like Alexis Arquette. Like the more I stared at,
is the person in the geisha makeup?
Yes.
Okay.
And also I'm like, it doesn't sound like her.
Right.
Like, it doesn't sound like Alexis Arquette.
When they say bye.
Huh? No, they're like, oh, do you need I don't know. They're like, do you need paddles or something? They
Oh,
say
that's
something.
right, with
Yeah.
the pool
Um,
scene.
But like Alexis Arquette had like the juiciest lips you've ever seen in your entire life, and that person didn't.
I'm right here.
I know. Like literally, her mouth was like no one else's mouth, and so I was looking at this person's mouth, and I'm like, I don't feel like that's Alexis Arquette. And this
Also, she would have been 15.
right,
when
and I'm
we-
like, I don't think that's her. Like, I just don't think that's her. And yeah, so this
I
trivia,
love that because it's
right?
the character's name is Alexis.
Exactly. They're like, oh, right, Alexis Arquette. I get it. I'm like, no, that's Jesus Christ.
Also, just clearly, okay, we'll get back to this.
Okay, yeah. So one of the trivia says the scene of Dave running and repeatedly yelling, "Call 911,
Dave
call
is
911."
Richard Dreyfuss.
Correct. Is credited with increasing public awareness of the 911 emergency phone number. I fucking know. Like that.
It might have. I think it was because it didn't always exist.
But I'm going to now read the trivia that is
That wasn't the
as IMDb trivia goes. This is you'll love this.
Mhm.
When it says white man, so I think it's supposed to be Whitman, right?
No, I think they're called Whiteman.
Oh, okay. When Mr. Whiteman is sneaking off to have an assignation with Carmen, the maid, he runs into Jerry, who can't sleep on a soft bed. Mr. Whiteman insists on making his bagel and locks for Jerry. Mrs. Whitman comes into the kitchen, as does Carmen. Mrs. Whitman says, "I heard a noise." Mr. Whitman says, lots of rats around. Beverly Hills actually has a severe rat problem. They make nests in the date palm trees. What the fuck? That is...
Thank you for setting up the entire scene.
I know.
Just to say.
We're just describing the whole scene so that you know that this offhand line, or like this one line, is actually based in reality. Like, fuck off. Why doesn't it reference the scene later where she says, "Oh my God, this guy was here and he said we have a rat infestation."
Good point.
Why didn't they say that? But this smacks, like, I wonder if this person is the same one that was like Arnold Schwarzenegger says, "I'll be back." In one in like multiple films. No, he didn't. He says it in one. Which also, no, he says it in more than one film. And what? Anyway, yeah. So that was a fun read. IMDb trivia never fails. We should do a like little like, oh, I'm gonna do IMDb trivia, and then we're like do IMDb trivia.
Oh yeah.
Or some
I
kind of,
wanted
like,
to do
theme
that from the get go. But the problem with that is that we have to keep it to one segment.
Do we?
How dare you? AT&T made its first implementation in Huntington, Indiana on March 1st, 1968. However, the rollout of 911 service took many years. For example, the city of Chicago had access to 911 service as early as 1976. The Illinois Commerce Commission did not authorize telephone service provider Illinois Bell to offer 911 to Chicago suburbs until 1981.
Damn.
So there.
Damn.
But yeah, I often say, call 911, call 911. Or at least in my head I do.
I was gonna say it.
And I am in my head quoting at least
Trying to
what I remember
Oh.
of
Huh.
this movie. Although in my memory it was Bette Midler, not Richard
Oh,
Dreyfuss.
interesting.
I don't know if I like Bette Midler either, if I'm honest.
Not in this movie.
Well, no, I don't like anybody in this movie except
Yeah.
the son, kind of.
Yeah, the sun. The sun's cool.
Oh Lord.
God, all of the sex scenes were just painful.
Yeah, I think that's supposed to be the joke, but
I don't like that joke.
no.
Also, I want to say this. Their bedroom decor, I mean, just please give me like that 80s, like baby pink fucking like weird, oh God, like they have like kitchen chairs or like
I
their
hated
dining
those
room
chairs.
chairs. Oh my God. I would, their whole house, I would take it. I would take their whole house. If someone was
Would
like,
you?
yes, I would
That's so
fucking,
generous of you.
thank you. If someone was like, do you want this like 1980s style fucking the only thing I didn't like the fridge. We agreed on the fridge. 'Cause
Oh,
it
yeah,
looked
the
like
fridge
a
is one of
fucking
those yeah.
closet door.
was a
No thanks. That's weird.
Weird style. That
But yeah, like everything that pastel-y sort of, oh God, I fucking loved it.
Apparently, it was close to Mazursky's house.
Who?
The director.
Oh, I see.
I'm going to pause to get more cafe.
Okay.
Okay.
Not looking.
Hi.
Hi. Not looking.
Oh, Lord. This movie is timeless. Tell you what.
Oh my God. Woo!
Yeah, lots of pink. Lots of pink.
Oh, pink. Yes. I was like,
Pink.
lots to pink. Yeah, there was lots of pink. I really liked the house is pink. I was into that.
The exterior
Yes.
is also pink.
The interior and exterior is pink. Oh.
I liked their entertainment unit in the bedroom. That was
Oh God, yes.
the only part
I liked the little like hallway from the bathroom to the bedroom that had like an infinity mirror or whatever. That was fucking. There was like a scene where Bette Midler was like walking, and you see her so many times before she actually comes into frame. Oh my God, it was so. I was like, I literally went, oh my God.
That's true. There's a lot of wearing of towels in this movie.
Oh my God, it's strange. But like in weird ways, like everyone's just like got them hanging over their clothes, or like Bette Midler always has a towel around her head,
yeah.
which is confusing because I'm never quite sure if it's supposed to be appropriative or if she's just like,
Right.
because like it'll be like she's coming out of the shower and she has it wrapped around her head. Okay, fine, yeah, and then she'll just be like sitting and talking to someone and it looks exactly the same, and I'm like, wait, does this mean she just
also
showered?
her yogi or whatever wears a turban, which
Right.
no.
Yes.
Although I do appreciate there's a shot where there's a background actor who I think is meant to be a postal carrier that is wearing a turban. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
I feel like I totally we had a mail carrier who was Sikh when I was growing up, I think.
Yeah.
In our neighborhood, there was a guy who would just do like an evening walk.
Yeah. Nice. It's...
Should have made friends. I should have given him an apple.
Yeah, it's very... That scene... Wow.
There's
like,
so much... This is one of those movies that there's just so much shit thrown in that doesn't need to be there.
Right,
Like,
and
it
then
rarely comes back, some of it. Or
like,
if it does, like, why?
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
The Iranian neighbors, for example.
So...
The whole joke, A, is that they have lots of money.
Mm-hmm. LOL.
I will bite my tongue and not do the little history I know about the U.S. relation with Iran.
Right. Thanks.
But then the aforementioned scene where Little Richard's character says, "There goes the neighborhood." It's because the patriarch of the family is leaving the house and getting into his limo, followed by a train of women in burqas. Presumably all his wives, I think is the implication. And then he just gives Nick Nolte a wad, hundreds of dollars for being nice to his son.
$500 for giving his son an apple.
Sir, thank you for speaking to my son Amir. He doesn't have any friends and he's very lonely here in Beverly Hills. Perhaps you could come over for coke and backgammon sometime.
Anytime.
Thank you. بزن بریم.
And like there's this like this is the thing that I appreciated about that scene. He's like, you should come over, and he's like, and have whatever. He says something like, have whatever with our family, and but Nick Nolte's like, yeah, just whenever. That sounds great.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, and he drives off. And I was like, I like that part. That was the only part because they're trying to imply that, like, culturally, like, he's weird. And, like, Nick Nolte just, like, agreeing to it is supposed to be the joke of being like, sure. But I'm like, no, that's fine. Like, why would that be weird?
Yeah,
like, I
right.
want to invite you over and, like, have some sort of thing
Yeah.
and make you feel welcome since you made my kid feel welcome. And he says, that sounds great. And that's supposed to be like a joke, but I'm like, no, that's great. That's a great, like, what? And then it never happens and we never see it. And they're like, never even, like, oh my God. Yeah, I wrote down the strange flavor of racism in this movie. It's strange. It's definitely there.
Strange.
And the way that Richard Dreyfuss talks about, like, Mexicans all the time, it's so weird.
Well,
I know that he has a factory, but
in
like
Mexico.
Yes, but I think he's also referencing the people that work for his factory here. I think, like, it.
Well, when he
seems
talks
like,
about the Mexicans going on strike, he does say that it's about the factory in Tijuana,
okay,
I believe. But then also, let's talk about.
let's talk about the husband.
Did you just say let's talk about the husband?
I said let's talk about the husband. Thank you, Facebook memories.
Yeah.
Bringing that back to me.
Oh man,
Sorry.
so hard.
I know.
At the Thanksgiving dinner, which is like one of the first things we see,
Yeah.
there are some Asian American folks, like that are, presumably friends and peers.
Mm-hmm.
But then
Presumably.
one of the little plot points is that his company is expanding into China, and the climax of the film happens at their New Year's party where they are hosting folks from China.
Mm-hmm.
There's exactly 2 black characters. I think at some point one of the cops or security guards is black, but
there's a background
little
black
Richard.
character at the restaurant.
Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, the guy with the amazing do.
hair. Yeah.
Who looks like he's from El DeBarge or something.
Right? Yeah.
Fucking. Oh, the homeless dude. The other homeless dude that they see when.
Yep. Al or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who, I thought it was hilarious.
Oh yeah, they're at a restaurant.
The gag is that they're sitting on a patio.
Mm-hmm.
It's Jerry, which is Nick Nolte, and Dave. Richard Dreyfuss. And Jerry sees somebody he knows. Another homeless dude.
I think you mean houseless.
And he's like, can he join us? And so he joins them. And the gag is that Dreyfuss is like, oh, why don't you order something? Do you want... They make a nice club sandwich here. Do you want some wine? He's like... And he keeps refusing. He says, no, thank you. But the whole time he's pocketing... It seemingly only rolls.
Yeah, from everyone's
off
table.
of all the tables.
I like that.
Doesn't he actually like pickpocket the server?
Oh, I don't know. I don't.
He takes something from the server.
But what I liked about that is that he's like, "Oh, I can get you some food," and he's like, "No, I don't want anything." But then he takes stuff, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is accurate." You're like, I don't want anything from you. Actually,
Exactly.
I will. I mean,
I'm good.
Yeah, I'll take these free rolls that no one's touching on their table, but I don't want anything from you.
I forgot when he offers him wine. He's like, no, today is the day I don't drink alcohol.
Today's a non-drinking day. I was like, oh, yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, this was a movie that when Bette Midler's drunk and Richard Dreyfuss is like, I thought you weren't going to drink anymore.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, I'm a vegetarian, but vodka's made from potato. And I was like, what?
Tracks.
What?
Also, I thought she was stoned.
Right? I thought they were just implying that she was like just loosey-goosey from having some cummies.
So did I at first.
From having some tummy cummies.
How dare you?
baby got her tummy
No, stop it. I'm serious. He go ahead and fuck off with that. No, that didn't work.
No, it was good. I enjoyed it. And as we know, that's all that matters. Also, the queer phobia in this movie was really interesting.
I mean, it's all centered on the son, isn't it?
It's centered on the son, but it's also like
It should be centered on the daughter.
it's the it's the confusing thing of like they're trying to imply that he's gay by showing him as being like genderqueer.
Yep.
So it's like it's that thing of like I don't know what gay is. I don't know
Yes.
what and so it's like all his friends are what I gathered from his like here's my friends and all of them wearing makeup or like just I assumed that what he was trying to imply was that you couldn't tell if any of them were boys or girls. Like I thought that was what the implication was supposed to be. And that he'd found like his people
Right.
in these androgynous-ish looking, for the 80s at least,
Right.
androgynous looking, people that he was sharing. And the thing is, I think this was like the thing, obviously, this is going to be the part that hits me the most, is that how happy he was.
Yeah.
Like they show him as being like, and him being like, I just wanted to share this with you. I wanted you
Right.
to meet my friends. I wanted you to see this. And like, because Nick Nolte was like, your parents have been around. They've seen stuff. They're not going to be as shocked as you think they are. And like, they kind of just like don't say anything.
Right.
But like, they definitely aren't supportive of him.
Correct.
And he's just being so fucking genuine and so fucking sweet about it and so fucking trusting with them about this. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like,
When
what
they all
the
show
fuck?
up, I was like, what is this, the ending of Saved? But I also remember the kid or the character in, what is it? It's the one I always confuse with Meet the Parents.
Meet the Fockers? No, I'm just kidding.
We watched it with
Oh,
the other Arquette.
Patricia?
Yeah.
It's the one that's like, why can't I?
Trouble finding, courting, no, what the fuck is it called? But
Yeah.
remember when they get to, Alan Alda and Lily Taylor and
Yes.
Lily Tomlin
Mm-hmm.
and the kid they have?
I know. Oh, God. It's so good.
The sassy, bitchy, like, queer-coded
Yes.
teen boy trope
Yeah.
is kind of one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like,
And I don't think he's supposed to be a teen, but
but he's like supposed to be like 21 or something. He's really young in that, and he like. But I love the like. I like when there's the goth spin to it, like
Yes.
when they always have like eyeliner on,
Yes.
and they're just like, I'm different.
100%.
I get that. That one's what gets me. You'll be surprised why, because that was me as a teenager.
Can't relate.
No one understands me.
But specifically, like when we see the kid Max in his room, he's like dancing around wearing a tutu.
Mm-hmm.
He has a Grace Jones poster on his wall, very prominently displayed, which is awesome.
Yep.
And that's when Nick Nolte is like, "Oh, you need a different shade. You need
Well,
to wear
yeah,
something more
he's like
orange."
putting lipstick on, and he's putting it on poorly. So I mean, more than shade, I want to be like, kid, let me show you how
Yeah,
to
right.
have like a technique for this. But Nick Nolte sees him, and he's like, oh, you need a color with more orange, which I disagree with. But he's like, you need more orange, and the kid just like turns around, and he just like looks at him like, yeah, that's all, and then just like walks away.
Right.
And it's kind of it's sweet because at the beginning when he's in a tutu dancing around, Richard Dreyfuss is like, I don't know what to do. I just saw our son in a tutu. Like and he basically is like, I think something's like wrong with him or whatever. Or he's like, I'm worried about him. But like Nick Nolte at the same time is like,
Oh, is it Flirting with Disaster?
Yes, that's what it is. Flirting with Disaster.
Okay, sorry.
At the same time, Nick Nolte, he like confronts Nick Nolte about like finding him, and he's like, "Thanks for being like chill about it." And he's like, "Yeah, whatever, I don't care." And he's like, "You should talk to your parents. Like, they're going to be understanding. Like, it's fine." And he's like, "But I'm serious. You need more orange."
Right.
And it's cute because he's just like, whatever.
And then that's when they go and have sex for the first time.
Here's something that I want to bring up.
They're having sex with children?
Sort of. Richard Dreyfuss, the Dave character, and his fucking daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that relationship, the way it is portrayed, I'm like, this is fucking gross.
It's very Trumpy.
Well, yeah. It's very much, he's like, he doesn't want her to have sex. But at the same time, she's like, I have trouble dating because I compare everyone to you, which she says multiple times. I have trouble finding a guy that I want to date because I compare them all to you and no one's good enough. And I'm like, no.
Also, the
this
only
is not
other
okay.
thing about her character is that she's anorexic.
Like, literally, this film is like essentially like Richard Dreyfuss. It's like the underlying message is like Richard Dreyfuss is having sex with his daughters. Like, there's nothing that about their relationship that does not imply that.
Was this The Silence?
Right. It's The Silence.
No, what's it called?
The Quiet.
The Quiet. The Silence Place.
You just keep comparing it to Martin Donovan movies.
Can't help it.
I know. If Martin Donovan was in this, it'd be so much better. Playing any of the characters. The son, Richard Dreyfuss, Bette Midler's character. I don't care. It's Martin Donovan movie.
Nick Nolte.
Yeah. No.
This is great news. Who is it?
See, nobody was ever good enough for me before, because I kept comparing everybody to you.
Oh, don't be silly. No.
Yeah, I was such a bitch. I mean, a total princess. But once I let go of my illusions and my stupid preconceptions...
Come on. Who is it? Tell me who it is.
Jerry.
Jerry who?
Oh, Jerry, Dad. It's a miracle.
Did you and he,
It's really a miracle.
Excuse me, 1 second.
I wanted to say that when the son shows up with all his friends, their aesthetic is specifically 80s club kid aesthetic.
Yes.
It's like the shit Boy George came out of.
Yes.
Which I think is on purpose.
Right. Yep. For sure.
And where androgyny was a big part of it, but
right.
It's such a specific aesthetic.
It's Pacific, you can say it.
Can I ask you a Pacific Christian?
Kirsten.
That's all I wanted to say.
Oh, okay.
I want to acknowledge that. And shout out to the hair, makeup, wardrobe folks on this movie for
I like
that.
the Alexis character though. That's basically, I mean, not fully, like not quite as drastic, but that's basically what I want to do with my hair. I just want to grow out the top and like keep the sides short and then just have like a ponytail just on the top. Oh my God, the scene where they have, oh my God. Why was it? I mean, I did do drugs, so I was slightly stoned. Just to update y'all, since I know that everyone cares. I went on anxiety medication.
Holler.
I know, yeah. I'm so stoked about it. But I haven't really been getting stoned because I didn't know how it would interact. And I've been really nervous about it. So I tried to get like casual stoned for the first time last night. It worked all right. But I don't know if that's why this scene was so funny to me or if it was just funny. But the scene where they're walking across the hot coals.
Oh, yeah. That was funny.
The fucking... Yeah, but you were drunk, so...
Okay.
The fucking dog runs across the hot coals. And the dog just keeps doing it, and they're just cheering.
Yeah. It's great because it upstages the humans. This is why it's funny to me.
But it's like the sound it makes when the dog's just like excitedly running across supposedly hot coals. Yeah. It's so. But what I liked about it is that like I feel like in like running across hot coals is a trope that literally still happens. I mean, I don't know if it still happens now, but it's like was literally in The Office.
in The Office, yeah.
So like 20 years later, it was still happening. But like as time went on, they made the coals look like red. But in this, they don't even look hot. They just look like
they just look ashy.
Like charcoal. But like everyone,
it looks like you're inside somebody's barbecue,
right? After the fact, like the day after.
End of summer.
But like everybody's so like scared and like hesitantly like running across, and then they get to the other side. They're like, "Oh my god!" But then the dog like
just fucking goes
so fucking fast.
Yeah,
and they show it like, and he gets done, and they're like, "Oh my god, you did so good!" And then the dog comes back and does it again. But the excitement that everyone has for the dog, they're all just like screaming, and they're like, "You're a good boy!"
Yeah, everybody just losing their shit.
It was so fucking funny. Every time I think of, like, I keep looking at the note and then being like, and then I forget that it happened. And I look at the note and I'm like, oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's in the editing too. This movie is edited weirdly.
Oh god.
I guess like the shit with the neighbor is one thing. Like early on in the movie, Richard Dreyfuss goes and gets the paper out of the yard, and then the sprinklers turn on and hit him in the face. And that's it. That's the whole scene. Why?
Stuff like that is always really fascinating to me when there's like, you can tell they filmed a whole scene just so that like one thing can happen that's for no reason, and you're like, wait, were you trying to make this funny? Is this supposed to be slapstick?
Right.
And it's not funny at all. Like when Nick Nolte comes out of the pool and they're like giving him CPR. Well, they're not really giving him CPR. They're breathing
whatever they're
in
doing.
his mouth. Well, Richard Dreyfuss is basically just trying to tongue kiss his tonsils or whatever.
Right.
And Nick Nolte like spits.
Yeah.
And I just assumed it was water because it didn't look like much of anything. It was orange juice and beer.
Presumably.
Gross. Gross. Also, why?
I had a visceral reaction to that. It really got me. I was like,
it just looked like water to me, and I was like, wait, why does it have to be
it looks
something
thicker than water?
It really?
To me. Anywho. So would you recommend?
No.
Oh, let's talk about the ending. Sorry.
Okay. Sorry.
Because he's finally, after going back and forth however many times over an hour and a half.
Oh, God. Because, like, about halfway through, Richard Dreyfuss just, like, stops giving a shit about him.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I can leave. He just keeps being like, I can leave. Like, you're the one that keeps asking me to stay. Right. And he's just like, no, not yet. Like, oh, let's give it more time. But he's just like such a fucking asshole to him. Yep. And he doesn't like, at first he's like obsessed with him and he wants to spend all his time with him. And then he just starts leaving him and starts going to work and just like leaves him.
Yep.
But he also, I think an important thing is he keeps trying to give him a job.
Yeah.
And he's just like, no. He's like, oh, you can work in the factory. You can work on the line. And he's like, no. And he's like, oh, do you want to work in shipping? And he's like, no, these aren't things that I'm like, that are suited for me. Like, I don't want to do this. So then he keeps being like, oh, you can work here. You can work here. And he just keeps trying to give him a job. And he's like, I don't want this.
Right.
And then Richard Dreyfuss eventually gets fed up with him for like, just, because the novelties weren't off. And then he just like leaves him. And he's just like alone, essentially, like with the whole family. And that's when he starts like sleeping with the wife and then sleeping with and like he starts like kind of being whoever they want him to be, like telling them whatever they need, and then at the end, like Richard Dreyfuss just getting pissed at him over and over. It's like, I'm like, why would you want to stay? I mean, like, Dave's being a dick, but I'm like, Jerry, leave. Like, this is not healthy for someone to just be treating you like shit. And Richard Dreyfuss is just like, basically like, everything's Jerry's fault. Jerry's a horrible person.
Right.
I don't like Jerry. And I'm like, why would you stay there, Jerry? Why would you do that? And then when finally after the whole like Richard Dreyfuss finds out that he like slept with his wife and slept with his
It's his
oh
daughter
no, it's
that
his
really
daughter.
sends him
It's
off.
his daughter. Yeah, that's really he took her virginity or whatever the fuck.
He's chasing him and saying, "You took my little girl."
Oh, see, this is what I'm talking.
Yeah,
Like
I
this
know.
is not. I'm like, oh no.
And then everybody ends up in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day, whatever, he's just like, "Fuck it."
The next day, yeah, everybody's like, "Oh, were you being honest with me?" And he was just like, "I wasn't being honest with any of you." And they were like, "Why?" And he's like, "Because this is exactly what you wanted. Like,
Yeah,
you wanted me
right.
to be, like." And I don't think it was like explicitly said, but I felt like the implication was, I think what they were trying to explicitly say, but not actually succeeding at, was that he was like, "You only needed me to be like a novel thing for you. Like you specifically wanted me to like fulfill some weird like not like desire, but like this like you wanted me to scratch an itch. And so I did my best to do that, and now you're pissed." And I was like, "Oh no, that's a good point."
Yeah, I wish they'd done that better.
Yup.
And also, the ending undermines this sort of
Correct.
because he finally leaves. He puts back on his bum uniform.
Yep.
Leaves with the dog. First
Yeah,
of all, the whole
because-
thing starts with his dog disappearing,
Disappears, yeah.
and he gets so depressed he tries to kill himself. And the other running joke is that the family dog, he's the only one that likes that the dog likes. And gets along with. Everything okay over there? So they're going to leave together, and then, first thing first, he has to dig out some food out of the trash for the dog. And they're going to eat it together, some pate.
But the dog doesn't want it because
Yeah, anyway, and then the whole family comes out into the alley and looks at them, and they all just kind of like...
they start laughing at him.
They kind of just slow smile. I like it. It reminded me of the scene when it's revealed to Pam that Michael Scott has slept with her mother. He's like, "It's okay." That's what their expressions reminded me of.
Well, except for the son. You know that GIF I always
Oh yeah,
do?
he's a...
Yeah, like because they're trying not to laugh. They're like all smiling.
I
and then,
honestly could not tell how it was supposed to read.
because I only could tell because he kept doing his cheeks blown out, and
Yeah.
then like when it got like to someone else's face, so you're not quite paying attention to his face anymore, he started going. And I'm like, okay, so we're supposed to just assume that he is trying not to laugh, and then like the daughter starts laughing at him too. And I'm like, that's not funny. You're literally laughing at someone eating out of the garbage and smiling and being like, ha, ha, ha. And then
Jerry says, "Let's go get a cup of cappuccino or whatever."
yeah, let's
Which
go have a
somebody had
cappuccino.
offered him.
Yeah.
Carmen, I
And
think.
And that's it.
So
and
he
then
goes
it
back
ends.
with the family.
Yeah.
What the fuck happens now? Oh, a TV series. That's what happened.
Yep.
Briefly.
But would you recommend?
No, probably not.
Nope.
I
would
think.
I'd
yeah,
recommend
I
the
think there's-
slums of Beverly Hills before I'd recommend this.
See, there you go. There's another Beverly Hills.
I know.
When's that? Is that the 90s?
Yeah. But it's set in like the 70s or whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think you could probably find several movies that do.
I mean, the
A
slums
better
of Beverly
job.
Hills is vastly different than that, but it has Natasha Lyonne and Marissa Tomei and other people in it.
Okay.
But it's not about the same.
I can't speak to the French film from the 30s.
Right. That this is based on.
The episode of Bob's. With.
The Mannequin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's much better than this.
Yep.
She didn't have nipples, and brother, she didn't need them.
Yeah, no, you can probably skip this one.
Yeah.
Unless for some reason.
If you want to see a nice 80s interior design aesthetic like stuff, yeah, totally. Watch the first 10 minutes of this, and then you can just shut it off.
Fair enough. But I feel like anything you can say positive about this film, there are other movies that have that and have other better things.
Yeah. If you want to see the amount of time that the son is in the film combined with his queer aesthetic, just watch an 80s music video.
Yeah.
And it'll be the same screen time.
Oh, yeah.
And the same aesthetic.
Watch a Culture Club video.
Yep.
Or
and
Grace
you got
Jones.
it. There we go.
I think there's some good YouTube documentaries about 80s club kids in New York and London.
Yeah, please watch that.
Or I don't know if it's London, but the UK.
Yeah. Crack a book on queer culture. I don't know. Do anything other than watch this movie.
Have some gay sex.
Yeah. Also, the weird Elizabeth Peña, him giving her the like books like on communism or whatever, and her like being like what she said was correct. Like Richard Dreyfuss is sleeping with her, and she's like, you're just a capitalist, and I just work for you, and all this, and it's true. Like he's her employer, and he is sleeping with her. Like that is a power dynamic. That is like he has like that is like an unfair power like dynamic.
Come on, what's the matter? Don't you like me?
Oh, that's not the point. And now I see the big picture.
What big picture?
You are the imperialist. You see me like the third world.
What?
Oh, struggle is a great teacher. You see, I am nothing. I am the worker. You are the capitalist. The only way we change this is revolution.
We were, no. We were having fun.
Yes, decadent fun.
And
she was like, "In the books you gave me?" He's like,
"Oh, I just picked them up somewhere." I'm like, but that doesn't mean you can. What? Yeah.
What a liar! What a fraud!
I know.
What?
I thought you said what a frog, and I was like, what? Oh, fraud. Yes.
French.
Ribbit, you know? French. But yeah, this was a I want to say though, like after we filmed all of our Halloween episodes,
on celluloid.
Sorry, recorded. Sorry, say wrong. We got like fucking sad. Like we didn't. It was we had to like take a little bit of a break because we were like really sad because we had so much fun doing the Halloween episodes that we were like, oh my god, like what do we do? And so we came back to this and we're like so excited to be back. It's so much fun. Yeah, anytime we take a break,
and then we watch this movie,
right? Whenever we take a break, it's always like really nice to take a break. We're like, yeah, I needed that. And then we take a break and we're like, oh my God, I'm so glad to be back. Keith's like, you feel that way.
Yeah, I've been really struggling with editing. It's been a drag.
Yeah.
Just
a whole drag. Yeah.
After the Halloween.
Yeah.
Because that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, you can cut that out. Note to engineer.
It was like you couldn't.
I couldn't figure out which way to. Yeah.
But watching it in real time, you were like. I'm sorry. No. Shit.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Some of the ladies asked me if that was all your hair. That's your hair.
Yes, it is. It's mine. I paid cash for it. Every bit of it.
Oh, that's yours, though, isn't
Did you break anything? I bought it all. I think that when you buy something, it's yours. Is that right? Shut up. I bought it.
Is it your hair or not?
Well, it's my hair. I'll talk to you later about it. But it is my hair. Stop peeping back in the back, Mike. Mike, looking in the back. You know the girl, she was born